that ICE wants to double their staff by 2020.
We have an immigration system that is fundamentally broken. It is fundamentally broken. And I've spoken out before specifically on DACA, saying that certainly when you have children that were brought here with no knowledge of what was happening, they shouldn't be punished for that. But the truth of the matter is we need total comprehensive immigration reform. We need to recognize that we are a country of immigrants. We should be proud of our immigrant heritage. We should welcome immigrants in. Our country was founded on the religious freedom that people had when they came here. And they left fleeing religious persecution from all places of the world to come here. That's how we started this nation. Today, we certainly should be willing to accept refugees from Syria and Iraq, where people are having their heads chopped off because they won't follow a certain doctrine of fanatic religion. We should certainly give them the same safe harbor that we found when the Pilgrims came and landed on Plymouth Rock. We should have done it during World War II when, as a shame to us, our nation turned away boatloads of Jewish refugees. As a shame to us, our nation took American-born citizens and put them in concentration camps because they were of Japanese heritage. And as a Korean linguist for the Army, the core of the Army's linguist capability was started from those two populations. The Nisei became the core of our language capability for the Pacific, and it was German-born Jews who became the key for our language capability for Europe. And those two populations served our country well during World War II. And as a linguist, the history of the work that I did during that phase of my Army career traces back to those two persecuted immigrant groups. So certainly we need to have comprehensive immigration reform that acknowledges that we need to have more people allowed into this country. We need to have it family-based. There's a big push to have everything be skills-based. No, family matters. To me, family matters. And we need to educate our people. We don't need to try to drive down labor costs by draining the best and the brightest from the rest of the world based on a skills-based immigration policy. We need to go ahead and reunite families. That's what we should be doing. And when it comes to the privatization, if we have comprehensive immigration reform, we'll fix that. We've got a huge problem with the privatization and the monetization of all of our judicial process. It is not just the immigration. Immigration is a huge problem, and if you look at that, it's a huge problem. I'll let you go ahead and clap. But we need to look at our entire criminal justice system, and we need to recognize, first of all, that drug offenses need to be treated as a medical problem rather than a criminal problem. We need to move back. We need to focus on reform and improving behavior rather than on punishment. We need to accept that there are some things that work and some things that don't. And I tell you what, locking somebody up for 5 years and putting a whole bunch of people who are of violent tendency together without the necessary supervision is the exact wrong thing to do if you want to have somebody who is reformed come out of our prison system. And we need to have re-entry programs so that if we have people who have made mistakes, that we allow them to re-enter our society and reintegrate into our society. Our country has the highest prison population in the world. The highest prison population in the world. And it's a shame. And it's embarrassing. I'm proud of the fact that Maryland got rid of the death penalty, because we were virtually the only developed country in the world that still had it. I would support banning the death penalty across the whole country, because it doesn't produce any benefits. It does not have it doesn't discourage people from committing crime. It doesn't provide justice, and I believe it's morally wrong. I was a soldier. I was trained. Okay, you're out in the battlefield. If someone's about to kill somebody, you kill them to stop them from killing somebody else. You fight a war. But once that enemy puts down his weapon and surrenders, he now is your responsibility to care for, to feed, and take care of. Because you can't kill him. He has surrendered. That's the way that the Geneva Conventions is written. That's what I spent 20 years trained to do. That's what I think we should be doing in our nation. So I went even, I'm sorry,
All for the